Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Communication Tutorials. In this video, I am going to illustrate how to generate a PN sequence, particularly a maximum length sequence when you are given a sequence generator. Please note in the diagram shown here, we are given a maximum length sequence generator which has a linear shift register and a feedback path, hence the name linear feedback shift register. Let me read out the question first. The question is, generate the maximum length sequence which is one of the form of PN sequence for a sequence generator given below and verify the properties of the same. Particularly, the maximum length sequence has three properties: the balance property, run property and correlation property. So, once the sequence is generated, we will verify these properties for the sequence that is generated. Further, it is given that we are supposed to assume the initial sequence of the shift register as 111. So, they will be the contents of the flip-flops in the shift register. Now, coming to the maximum length sequence generator, you can see the length of the linear shift register is 3 because it has 3 flip-flops. The output of each flip-flop is given as x1, x2 and x3 respectively. Here, the feedback path is a modulo 2 addition of x1 and x3. So, let us start with the solution. We start by identifying the length of the shift register first, which is also equal to the number of flip-flops in the linear shift register. Since there are 3 flip-flops, the length of the shift register is equal to 3. Then the length of the maximum length sequence or the PN sequence, which is denoted by capital L, is given by the formula 2 power m minus 1. Since m equals to 3 here, it will be 2 power 3 minus 1, which is equals to 7. So, the length of the PN sequence or here the maximum length sequence will be 7. Let us now look at how the sequence is generated. Here I have taken clock pulses at the first column. Then I have the output of each of the flip-flop in the next 3 columns. Then I have a column dedicated for the feedback, which here for our case is x1 plus x3, and that is why we have given it as x1 plus x3. And finally, the output, which is the output of the shift register, is given a separate column, and this you should note is equal to the x3 column. Right. As we are given in the numerical, the initial contents of the shift register to be taken as 111, and that is what I have taken here. Let us start the operation now. At the end of first clock, the contents of the flip-flops are moved out because it is a linear shift register. So, x1, x2, x3 will become 111, which is also our initial content. So, the feedback for this particular condition is x1 plus x3, but it is a modulo 2 addition. Please note, we have used a modulo 2 adder here. Therefore, it will be equal to 0. Now, since output is equals to x3, I will simply place the content of x3 in the output column. Now, in the next step, the feedback will move on to the x1 column and the previous contents of the x1 and x2 column will move on to x2 and x3 columns. So, this goes here and this will come here and this will come here. Once again, you perform the same operation, that is to compute feedback. 0 plus 1 modulo 2 addition is 1 and the output is x3. For the next clock, which is clock 3, the feedback once again goes here. The previous two contents will appear here. We once again compute feedback. Now it is 1 plus 1 modulo 2 addition 0 and x3 is given as the output. So this operation is continued until we move on to a clock number which is equal to the length of the maximum length sequence. At this exact point, you have to stop because in the next clock output, the content of the linear feedback shift register will once again reset to the initial content at the beginning of operation. That is why we say the PN sequence is a periodic sequence. When the initial contents are reset in the 8th clock, I have said the contents are repeating, so you stop the computation. Now, where do we find the PN sequence generated? In the output column. So, I have to now write this sequence from top to bottom. So, the PN sequence or here in particularly the maximum length sequence is 1110100. You can see I have written the same here. It is 1110100. Right. That is how you generate the maximum length sequence or the PN sequence using a maximum length sequence generator. The numerical also asks us to verify the properties of the generated P-n sequence, which is what I will be doing now. So, as I said, the first property is called as the balance property. What does the balance property say? In the maximum length sequence that is generated, the number of ones is 1 greater than the number of zeros. So, I will count the number of ones in the sequence. You can see it is 4, and I will count the number of zeros here. You can see it is 3. Therefore, since the number of ones is 1 greater than number of zeros, the balance property is verified. Let us now move on to the second property, which is called as the run property. What is a run? A run is a continuous appearance of similar looking bits in the P-n sequence. So, the first 3 bits in the generated P-n sequence is 1, 1, 1. So, we can combine them to form one run. That is why I have given an underline to the first 3 bits. You should also note the length of the run is equal to the number of bits in the run. For example, the very first run here consists of 3 bits, therefore it will be a run of length 3. Coming to the next bit, we have a 0, but there is no following. So this will become a run but of length 1. The next bit is 1, once again it has no following bits, so it is once again a run of length 1. Lastly, we have 2 zeros. Since they are similar, we combine them to form one run, but here it is made up of 2 bits, so therefore we will call it as a run of length 2. Let us now calculate the total number of runs. It is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let us write it here. Total number of runs is equals to 4. What does the run property say? It says that among the total number of runs, 1/2 of the runs are of length 1, 1/4 of the runs are of length 2, 1/8 of the runs are length 3, etc. However, in this particular case, the length of the P-n sequence is 7. So, we will not be going to take 1/8 of the run because it does not apply here. So, we will only verify the number of runs of length 1 and 2. As per the property, there should be 1/2 of the total number of runs of length 1. If you go back and check the number of runs of length 1, we have 2, that is what is written here, and in fact 4 divided by 2, which indicates half of the total number of runs is also equal to 2. So, this particular condition is verified. Moving on to the number of runs of length 2, it should be equal to 1/4 the total number of runs. So, it is 4 by 4 equals to 1. When I go back and check, there is only one run of length 2, therefore, this condition is also verified. I will not be continuing for the condition 1/8 of the runs because the length of the P-n sequence itself is 7. Therefore, we stop here and say the run property is verified. Moving on to the third property, which is called as the correlation property. Now, the correlation property is verified by first computing the correlation. Here, we will denote the sequence by Cn. Therefore, the correlation is denoted by Rc of k, where k is the number of shifts or the lag that is introduced into the sequence. So, Rc of k is equals to 1 divided by n, where capital N is the length of the P-n sequence. So, the autocorrelation is 1 by n, summation n varying from 1 to capital N, Cn into Cn minus k, where Cn represents the P-n sequence without any shift and Cn minus k represents the P-n sequence with the sequence shifted right by k number of bits. When I say shift, you should assume it is a rotation operation. Now, after computing the Rc of k, we come to the property. As per the correlation property, we should have this condition verified. That is, when the number of shifts, that is k, is an integral multiple of the length of the P-n sequence, then the autocorrelation is supposed to be 1. And on the other hand, when the number of shifts is not an integral multiple of the length of the P-n sequence, then the autocorrelation should be equals to minus 1 by n. Now, having given the correlation property, let us verify this. At first, I am going to take up the condition when k is not equal to L into n. So, since the value of n is 7, any value of k which is not an integer multiple of n can be considered. Here, for example, I have considered k equals to 3. Let us start by writing the P-n sequence and denote it by Cn, which is 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. To verify the correlation property, we are now supposed to represent the bits in the P-n sequence in its polar form. That is, symbol 1 is to be represented by +1, symbol 0 is to be represented by -1. So, in the next line I will write the polar form of Cn equals, wherever there is symbol 1 you write +1 and wherever there is symbol 0 you write -1. Let us now move on to create the next sequence, which is C of n minus k. Here k is 3, so I will write it as Cn minus 3. To obtain this sequence, I have to now rotate the contents of Cn 3 times to the right. This will create the last 3 bits to become the first 3 bits in the sequence. So 1 0 0 will appear first, then these bits will appear here. Once again, I will write the polar form of C of n minus 3 by replacing bit 1 by +1 and bit 0 by -1. Now I am going to compute C of n multiplied by C of n minus k. So I am going to write it as Cn multiplied by Cn minus 3. I have written one below the other because multiplication becomes easier in this particular way. The first sequence here is Cn and the second sequence is Cn minus 3. Now by multiplication we are supposed to simply multiply each bit positions one by one. So -1 into -1 is +1. -1 into +1 is -1, +1 into +1 is +1. In this fashion, you generate the rest of the sequence. Then, as per the equation, we are supposed to sum all the values of the multiplication product and then divide it by 1 by n, which is what is shown here. So, 1 by n into summation n varying from 1 to capital N, Cn multiplied by Cn minus 3 equals to 1 by 7, which is the 1 by n part, multiplied by the summation of all of these contents, which is what is given here. Now, if you look at these contents clearly, you will find there are 3 plus 1s, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 minus 1s, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, the total of this addition will be -1. This when multiplied by 1 by 7 will form -1 by 7, which is equals to -1 by n. When I come back to the property, for k not equals to L into n, RC of k should be -1 by n, which is what we have obtained for k equals to 3 here. For any other value of k which is not an integer multiple value of L, you will still obtain this answer only. Let us now move on to the second case when k is equal to L into n, where I will assume L equals to 1. To do that, once again I am going to write the Pn sequence and its polar form. Then I am going to write the Pn sequence which is Cn minus k. Here in this particular case it is Cn minus 7. The overall idea here is when you rotate the Pn sequence by an integer multiple value of the length of the sequence, you will obtain the same exact sequence once again. Therefore, Cn and C of n minus 7 will be exact same sequences. The same will happen when k is equals to 14, 21, etc. Let us now perform the multiplication of Cn and C of n minus 7, which is once again shown here, and you can see we have similar symbols appearing one below the other. So, -1, -1, +1, +1 and this pattern continues. So, when I multiply each bit position, quite obviously I will obtain +1 everywhere. So, when I move on to calculate the correlation by using the equation here, I will find it as 1 by 7 multiplied by the sum of all these elements, which is obviously 7. So, the answer is 1. So, for the case when k is an integer multiple of the length of the Pn sequence, the autocorrelation is found to be 1, and when I come back to the equation for autocorrelation, I find it is equal to 1 here as well. Therefore, we now say the correlation property is also verified. Right. This is how you are going to generate a Pn sequence. Particularly in the example considered here, we have generated a maximum length sequence as well as verified its properties. Right. With that, I end this video. If you like this video, kindly press that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos on digital communication. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.